He smashed the cake I'd bought for him right off the table, frosting exploding across the patio tiles. My brother looked at the mess, then locked eyes with me and sneered, "Eat it off the ground." The whole backyard went silent for half a second, then erupted in laughter. My stepmom cut through the noise, voice ice cold. "I'm erasing your name from the family." My dad just stared at the grill. "I'm Bailey Lawson, 25, and that was the moment everything changed. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I set the knife down, walked past the table, and got in my car. Aunt Helen slipped into the passenger seat without a word. As the string lights faded in the rear view, my phone buzzed once, then kept buzzing. By midnight 58, missed calls. Before we get into what happened next, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and have you ever had to cut ties with family? Your story might help someone else. Aunt Helen rode shotgun the entire 4-hour drive back to Raleigh. The highway stretched dark ahead, headlights cutting through the night while the radio stayed off. She broke the silence, first voice, steady but low. "You know this isn't new, Bailey. They've been pulling this for years." I kept my eyes on the road, fingers tight on the wheel. Helen shifted in her seat, pulling a water bottle from the door pocket. "Remember when Landon wanted that dirt bike? Your dad put it on your credit card, the one meant for emergencies. You paid it off while he wrecked it in weeks." I nodded once. She wasn't telling me anything I hadn't lived, but hearing it out loud sharpened the edges. "And the down payment on the beach house," she continued, twisting the cap off her bottle. "You co-signed because Robert said it was temporary, just until Lindsay's business picks up." That promise aged like milk. The exit sign for Raleigh glowed ahead. I flicked the blinker and merged right. Helen leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "They treat you like an ATM with a pulse. Landon gets the new SUV because he needs reliable transport. Meanwhile, you're still driving the same sedan from back then." We pulled into my apartment complex just after the drive ended. The lot was quiet, security lights buzzing overhead. I killed the engine and sat there a moment. Helen unbuckled but didn't move to get out. "You don't owe them your future," she said. "Not one more dollar." Inside, the place felt cooler than usual. I dropped my keys on the counter, kicked off my shoes, and headed straight for the office nook. Helen followed, flipping on the lamp. My laptop woke with a soft chime. I opened the folder labeled Family Finances, a spreadsheet I'd updated religiously every month. The numbers stared back, cold and clear. First tab, mortgage payments, the beach house in Virginia Beach. 4 bedrooms, ocean view, the one they called the family retreat. I'd co-signed because Dad promised it would build my credit. Monthly payment, $2,400. My share, $800, wired automatically on the first. Over the years that piled up. But I'd overpaid during tax season, covering shortfalls when Lindsay's boutique had a slow quarter. Grand total, extra $21,000. Second tab, auto loan. Landon's SUV, black, fully loaded, the one he demanded after totaling his last car. Dad asked me to co-sign just to get him approved. Interest rate locked at 4.9%. Monthly $512. My name on the title meant the bank came to me first if payments lagged. They had multiple times. I'd covered the gaps, $1,200, then $1,500. Plus insurance top-ups when Landon added performance mods. I scrolled to the summary cell. Total out-of-pocket $30,000 exactly, not including the credit card charges for Landon's emergency textbooks or Lindsay's business retreat in Asheville. Helen stood behind me, reading over my shoulder. "That's a down payment on your own condo," she said quietly, "or seed money for the event planning firm you keep talking about." I closed the laptop. The room felt heavier now, the air thick with receipts and regrets. Helen placed a hand on my arm. "They'll call tomorrow. They always do when the money stops. But tonight, you decide if you keep funding their life or start building yours." She grabbed her overnight bag from the couch where she'd left it earlier. "I'm crashing in the guest room. We'll handle the paperwork in the morning." The hallway light clicked off behind her, leaving me alone with the glow of the screensaver. I reopened the file, stared at the final number one more time, and let it sink in. $30,000. Years of payments. One family that never saw me as more than a safety net. The cursor blinked in the corner, waiting. We sat at my kitchen island past 1 a.m. Laptops open. The coffee Helen poured steamed between us, cutting the chill from the air conditioning. She slid her chair closer, screen reflecting in her glasses. "Send the bank a message tonight. she urged. One clear request to pull your name off every obligation. Do it while the anger's fresh, they can't argue with paper. I pulled up my email client, fingers hovering over the keys. The inbox showed unread promotions and work threads, but I started a new draft. To field the loan servicing address I'd memorized from statements. Subject line: request to remove cosigner from accounts. Helen watched without interrupting. Body began simple. To whom it may concern, I am writing to formally request removal of my name as cosigner on the following accounts effective tomorrow. I listed the mortgage reference number first, the one tied to the beach house. Then the auto loan ID for Landon's SUV. No explanations, no pleas. Just facts and account details copied from the spreadsheet still glowing on my second monitor. Helen nodded approval. Add a line about misrepresentation, she suggested. You agreed under the understanding these were short-term bridges. The terms changed without your consent. I typed it in wording crisp. Initial agreement specified temporary support. Continued reliance constitutes material change requiring my release. Attachment section: I scanned my driver's license, the original cosign documents, and a utility bill for proof of address. Everything the bank might demand to process fast. Helen leaned in again. CC your personal banker if you have one. Lights a fire. I added Mr. Kane's email from a business card tucked in my wallet. The message looked professional, detached, unbreakable. I read it aloud, once voice flat. Helen gave a thumbs up. That's the sound of chains breaking. My cursor moved to send. One click and the whoosh confirmed delivery. The screen flashed. Message sent. Helen closed her laptop with a snap. You're free now. She stood stretching her back against the counter edge. They'll wake up to an empty safety net. Let them figure out the fall. I stared at the confirmation page, the sent folder timestamp locking the moment. The weight in my chest shifted, not gone, but lighter. Helen rinsed her mug in the sink water running steady. Sleep, if you can. Tomorrow the phone starts. She disappeared down the hall guest room door, clicking shut. Alone again, I refreshed the inbox out of habit. Nothing yet. The apartment hummed with fridge noise and distant traffic. I powered down both machine screens, going black. The email sat in cyberspace, irreversible. Obligations severed, with a subject line and a click. I left the island, flipping off the kitchen light. The hallway felt longer, shadows softer. In my room, I set an alarm for the bank's opening hour. Sleep came slow, but it came unburdened for the first time in years. My phone screen lit up like a fire alarm before sunrise. Notifications stacked in a frenzy, 58 missed calls, all from Virginia Beach numbers. I swiped open the log, thumb scrolling through the chaos. Lindsay dominated the list, her name repeating in clusters of 5 or 6 attempts. Landon sprinkled in between his contact photo, a smug grin from last Christmas. Robert's calls came singly, spaced like afterthoughts. Voicemail icon pulsed red. I tapped play on the first, from Lindsay, volume low. Her voice exploded through the speaker, shrill and accusing. You think you can just vanish and ruin everything? That house is our home. Fix this now. The message cut at 30 seconds, auto hang up. Next one picked up mid-rant. Selfish brat, always playing victim. Landon needs that car for work. I skipped to Landon's. Static crackled, then his bark. You're dead to me if you touch my ride. I'll make sure everyone knows what a backstabber you are. Another pickup cowered. Roberts were different. Soft, almost whispered. Bailey, honey, let's talk this out. No need for extremes. Then pleading. Your brother's upset. Call me back. The barrage painted a clear picture, panic mode engaged. I muted the ringer, set the device face down, and headed for the shower. Hot water rinsed away the fog of broken sleep. By the time I dressed, slacks, blouse, minimal makeup, the sun edged over the skyline. A text pinged from my friend Skylar. Saw the call log screenshot you sent last night. Block the whole crew. You don't owe explanations. I replied with a thumbs up emoji, then opened settings. One by one, I added Lindsay, Landon, and Robert to the blocked list. The phone went silent, a digital exhale. Breakfast was coffee and a protein bar grabbed on the way out. Traffic into downtown Raleigh moved, steady radio news droning about local events. I parked in the garage across from the bank branch badge, ready for the lobby door. Inside, air conditioning blasted, cool tellers greeting early customers. Mr. Kane spotted me from his glass office and waved me over. He stood to shake hands, suit crisp. Bailey, good to see you. That email landed in my inbox first thing, urgent flag, caught my eye. We sat at his desk monitors displaying account dashboards. He pulled up the mortgage file. Beach property in Virginia Beach. Your cosigner with Robert Harper. Balance, outstanding, significant. I nodded. I requested removal, effective immediately. Misrepresentation on the original terms. He clicked through documents scanning the cosign agreement. Temporary support clause. Yes here. Bank policy allows release if primary borrower can qualify solo or refinance. Next screen, auto loan. SUV titled to Landon Harper you as guarantor. Similar story payments current but gaps covered by you. Mr. Kane adjusted his tie. We'll need Robert and Landon to sign refinance docs or provide alternate security. Until then, your liability pauses pending review. He printed forms highlighting signature lines. Take these to them if you want speed. Otherwise, we mail certified 30-day clock starts. I folded the papers into my bag. Mail is fine. Let the process run. Mr. Kane leaned forward. Off-record smart move protecting your credit. Co-signing family ties can drag scores down fast. We exchanged business cards again, his with a personal cell scribbled on back. Call if they push back. Outside, the morning heat built. I slid into my car, forms secure in the passenger seat. The blocked phone stayed quiet, no more. Vibrations, no more demands. Raleigh streets blurred past as I drove to the office, mind already shifting to client meetings. The bank visit sealed the first crack in their foundation. 3 nights later, fists hammered my apartment door at 9 p.m. The bangs echoed through the hallway, sharp and relentless. I froze in the living room, remote slipping from my hand. Through the peephole, Lindsay's face twisted in fury, hair disheveled from travel. Landon loomed beside her shoulder, slamming the wood again. Open up. Give back the car right now, he bellowed. Lindsay joined in, voice piercing. You can't steal from your own brother. That SUV is his lifeline. Another thud rattled the frame. Neighbors' doors cracked open down the corridor, curious eyes peering out. I stepped back, heart racing but steady. Helen had driven home to her place in Durham that morning, no backup tonight. Their demands escalated. Landon kicked the baseboard. I flew all the way here, think you can hide? Lindsay pounded with both palms. Police will hear about this theft. The irony stung, but I grabbed my phone from the coffee table. Dialed 911, speaker on low. Raleigh PD, non-emergency. The operator answered. I whispered my address, explained uninvited guests refusing to leave. Officers en route, she confirmed. Outside, the racket continued. Sign the papers or else, Lindsay shrieked. Landon rattled the knob. You're destroying our family. Lights flicked on in adjacent units. A baby cried somewhere. I stayed silent behind the deadbolt, watching the clock tick. Sirens grew distant, then closer, red-blue flashes painting the walls through the blinds. 2 patrol cars pulled into the lot. Officers approached, flashlights cutting the dark. Step away from the door, one commanded. Lindsay spun, arms flailing. She's holding property that belongs to my son. The cop held up a hand. Ma'am, lower your voice. This is private residence. Landon protested. We just need her signature. The second officer checked IDs, radioed dispatch. Trespass warning issued. Leave the premises or face arrest. Lindsay's face reddened. This is harassment. But the officers stood firm, guiding them toward the elevator. Vacate now. Footsteps retreated, muffled arguments fading. A knock followed, gentle. Raleigh PD, ma'am. All clear. I opened to the lead officer, badge gleaming. He handed an incident card. They're banned from the property. Call if they return. I thanked him, locked up triple. The complex settled back to quiet. I texted the leasing office about the disturbance attached to the card number. Adrenaline ebbed, leaving exhaustion. Couch cushions welcomed me as I replayed the scene. Flying in from Virginia Beach, desperation on full display. The bank forms sat unsigned in their luggage, now useless without my cooperation. I brewed chamomile steam, rising calm. The door stood solid, a barrier they couldn't breach. Helen's earlier words echoed, no more access. Police escort sealed that promise. Tomorrow would bring fallout, but tonight the apartment remained mine, peaceful, protected. Morning coffee was interrupted by group chat notifications. The mug paused halfway to my lips as the family thread exploded with pings. Lindsay had posted a novel-length rant tagging everyone from cousins to old neighbors. Bailey ruined her brother's birthday party, and now she's trying to steal our home. Screenshots of the cake mess followed, angled to hide the smirk on Landon's face. More messages flooded in. She accused me of abandoning family in crisis and hoarding resources while we struggle. Emojis of crying faces and broken hearts punctuated every line. Landon chimed in with a voice note. She's jealous of my success, always has been. Relatives liked replied with shocked faces, some adding prayers for healing. I set the cup down, steam curling untouched. The smear campaign unfolded in real time, painting me as the villain who crashed a celebration and evicted them. No mention of co-signed debts or years of payments. Just selective outrage. Skylar's private message popped up separately. Forwarding what she's blasting, thought you'd want the full picture. Attached were captures of Lindsay's posts, timestamps fresh. One showed the beach house exterior captioned, "Soon homeless because of greed." Another zoomed on the SUV. My son's only transport gone. I archived the thread without responding. Blocked users couldn't see my silence, but it protected my feed. Work laptop sat open on the dining table calendar, reminding of a 9:30 stand-up. I drafted an email to my manager, Ms. Vargas. Subject, quick heads up on personal matter. Hi, Ms. Vargas. A family boundary issue has escalated online. It won't impact my deliverables or availability. Everything remains on track for the quarterly events. Appreciate your understanding if any odd calls come through. Best Bailey Short, professional, proactive. I hit send before a second-guessing tone. Her reply arrived within minutes. Thanks for the note. Focus on work, HR has your back if needed. Relief settled in. The group chat kept buzzing in the background but muted now. I scrolled Skylar's forwards once more, noting patterns. Lindsay looped the same phrases, building a narrative for sympathy. Cousins piled on with, "How could she?" and prayers for you all. No one asked my side. I closed the app, pushed the phone aside. Breakfast shifted to yogurt and fruit fuel for the day ahead. Client proposals waited in drafts, venue contracts needing signatures. The online drama felt distant, contained to pixels. Mid-morning, Skylar called. Their live streaming pity now want me to monitor. I declined. Let it burn out. Energy better spent on real projects. She laughed. Boss move. By lunch, the posts slowed. Likes plateaued, comments thinned. The algorithm would bury it soon. I stepped out for a walk around the block, fresh air clearing residual tension. Raleigh's sidewalks bustled with professionals, none aware of the digital storm. Back at my desk, focus sharpened. Event timelines aligned, budgets balanced. The email to Ms. Vargas drew a line work untouched by chaos. Family ties frayed further with every public lie, but my foundation stayed solid. A bank envelope slid through my mail slot a few weeks later. The return address confirmed the sender, thick paper official seal. I carried it to the kitchen counter, slid it open with a butter knife. Inside, a multi-page letter from Mr. Kane, stamped and notarized. The cover sheet read, "Full release of co-signer liability. Mortgage section, first account, closed to my name, primary borrower, now solely responsible." Auto loan followed, guarantor status, terminated, title transfer pending refinance. No further obligations, no recourse claims. I scanned the fine print, effective date matched my original request. Signatures from bank officers lined the bottom, dates fresh. A sticky note from Mr. Kane. Congratulations on protecting your future. Call with questions. His direct line scribbled below. Spreadsheet open on my laptop, I navigated to the budget tab. 2 recurring lines glowed red: mortgage contribution, vehicle payment. Highlight, delete cells blanked out. The monthly surplus jumped 3 figures, breathing room I hadn't felt in years. Phone buzzed with a work notification. Ms. Vargas forwarded an internal memo, promotion announcement. Bailey Lawson to senior event planner, effective immediately. Salary bump, expanded team, corner office on the 3rd floor. The timing aligned perfectly. Performance reviews closed last quarter, my portfolio leading revenue growth. I printed the release letter, filed it in a new folder labeled Closed Chapters. The deleted budget lines left a clean slate, numbers realigned toward savings goals. Emergency fund target hit sooner, travel fund seated. Colleagues flooded Slack with congrats emojis. Skylar sent a gif of champagne popping. Told you karma works fast. I replied with a simple thanks, focus shifting to upcoming galas. Mr. Kane's note prompted a quick call. Documents look solid, anything else required? He confirmed no. Primary parties notified, they'll need to qualify independently now. The line went quiet a beat. Smart decision. Hanging up, I archived old statements, shredded outdated receipts. Digital cleanup mirrored the physical accounts, unlinked alerts silenced. The promotion email detailed new responsibilities, larger venues, celebrity clients, international scouting trips. Evening brought takeout and a quiet toast with sparkling water. The apartment felt lighter walls, echoing possibility. Deleted expenses funded the first contribution to a retirement match I'd skipped before. Team meeting the next day introduced my title officially. Handshakes, business cards updated. Projects stacked higher but manageable with the raise. The release letter stayed tucked in my briefcase, a silent victory. Budget apps synced across devices, graphs trending upward. No more shortfalls, no surprise gaps. The promotion sealed professional assent. The discharge freed personal finance. 2 wins, 1 envelope. 1 year after Landon's backyard, 22nd, an unknown text pinged. The screen lit during a client dinner in Charlotte, number unlisted, area code, Virginia Beach. Message simple: I'm sorry for everything. Sender Landon. I excused myself from the table, stepped onto the hotel balcony. Public records had trickled updates over months. The beach house entered foreclosure proceedings after missed payments stacked. Auction notice posted, online bids low. SUV repossessed from a strip mall lot, towing company photos showed it hooked and gone. Lindsay filed divorce papers citing financial ruin, documents sealed, but leaked through mutual contacts. Robert moved to a 1-bedroom rental. Landon couch surfed with college buddies. The empire built on my credit crumbled without the foundation. The apology hung there, no follow-up questions or pleas. I stared at the words, thumb hovering. No anger surged, no satisfaction either, just closure. Delete thread, block number. The screen dimmed to black. Back inside, conversation flowed about venue contracts. My role as senior event planner expanded, overseeing multi-million budgets, negotiating with vendors nationwide. Savings grew quarterly, travel rewards redeemed for solo trips. Skylar joined one to Asheville, toasting independence. The text marked an endpoint, not a bridge. Boundaries drawn that night in the kitchen held firm. They weren't barriers to punish, but gateways to peace. Family redefined by choice, not obligation. Looking back, the cake smash sparked liberation. Every deleted line item, every ignored call, every police report built resilience. Viewers facing similar ties might hesitate, fear, guilt, or backlash. But enforcing limits protects sanity, finances future. One decision shifted trajectory. From co-signer to senior leader, from enabler to empowered. The apology arrived too late to matter. Proof consequences teach what words cannot. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors to the life you deserve. Open yours without apology.